We are Plead the Widow's Cause, and this is the KingdomCore podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the KingdomCore podcast. It's so awesome to have you here, whether you're listening to us on a streaming service or you're watching on YouTube. We got some great stuff coming up. We had the awesome privilege of interviewing Plead the Widow's Cause. They're a new band in the scene, and these dudes are just really sweet. They're awesome, funny, and we had a good chat. We talk a bit about their new EP, Pain Split, and kind of where these guys came up from, and some funny stories about photographing dead animals, and just some crazy other stuff. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Also, just at the beginning of the show here, I want to remind you can go check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/the KingdomCore or KingdomCore podcast. I can never remember that part. But we got some awesome perks up there, and I just want to give a shout out to our core givers: Aaron Peter, Jonathan Lyman, Anthony Kuchma, Tiffany Cadenhead, and Blake and Cody Andreas. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Wanted to give you guys a special shout out at the beginning, and stay tuned. Check out the podcast, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Give us a rating on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. It's been amazing having you guys' support, and we look forward to continuing to do this. Here is our interview with Plead the Widow's Cause.
Thanks for having us on. This is great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been excited. We've been looking forward to this. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, band members, what instruments you guys play, and tell us a little bit about the band.
So I'm Dan. I play bass.
My name's Matt. I play guitar.
James, drums.
I'm Ian, and I do the vocals.
And Brett, and I play guitar as well.
Sweet. And what band are you guys?
We're called Plead the Widow's Cause.
So where's that band name come from, for those that don't know?
It comes from Isaiah. Let me pull up the verse. Actually, I should have had that prepped. Bear with me. Sorry.
All good.
Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's cause.
Sweet.
So that's where our name comes from.
That's a great reference.
What does that phrase mean to you guys? Out of all the phrases in the Bible, why that phrase for your guys' band name?
I would say, I know I speak for all of us, and certainly things that we care about. Just the viewpoint of bringing justice, I would say, and whether that be a lack thereof, or whether that be people who are, in a position of vulnerability, who can't defend themselves, people who don't have a voice, people who are being oppressed, whatever that looks like. A huge part of the thing, something missing from this world is justice, and that's not something that could ever be brought in this world, in this corrupt world.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we could look forward to, but it's something we can lament. But it's certainly something that we care very deeply about, and I think bringing justice and providing a voice to those who might not have it is a huge part of what we all stand for, individually and collectively. And that's both in and out of the band, I'd say.
That's awesome, guys. You guys just released your debut EP, launched it into the world, Pain Split. Do you guys want to talk us through how that came to be, how you guys entered the scene? Because I only just found out from Sean like half an hour ago that you guys were previously named something else, or at least most of you in the band. I don't know if you guys all were part of that, but if you just want to introduce yourselves and kind of like how you guys came to be as a band and release this new EP.
Yeah. So I guess it goes back a long time ago. James, Matt, and I, we were in a band together probably 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We all met through like various ways, and we were making metal music, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And as we got older, our taste changed, and we wanted to make an alternative rock post-hardcore band. Mm-hmm. So that was a little project between us. Dan joined, then we had another vocalist, Trey, and we started a band called Harvey Cedars, which was
such a good band, by the way. If you guys haven't heard,
thank you.
it is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that was our first,
That's
like,
awesome.
getting our feet wet into like that more alternative style of music that wasn't just metalcore. And it was good, and we were having fun with it. But over time we just kind of like everybody got busy with different things, and we wanted to do music again, so we wanted to start making something like that. But this time we, went a little bit heavier, and that's kind of how this happened. And Dan and I were working on songs, like we were just writing songs for fun, and some of those songs made it onto the album, and we were writing stuff, and got James back, Matt back, and then Brett is the newest member. You joined about a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Wow.
And we've been writing
That's
since
crazy.
then, and just kind of like tweaking all the songs. All the songs have been written over the course of like 2 years. So they've had a lot of time to sit.
Yeah, so kind of like towards the start of the thing that shall not be named.
Yeah. I guess it was a quarantine. Well, we had some stuff a little bit before quarantine, but like
I wouldn't call it a quarantine. I'd say a lot of it happened because there's nothing else you can do during quarantine.
I think November of 2019 was when we started writing the first.
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a phenomenal release. Like, somebody sent it to me in a message, and this person sends me a lot of music, and I don't tend to necessarily like a lot of what they send me, but I was just like,
But I hope they're not
okay,
listening.
and so yeah, I put this one on, and I was blown away, like, right away. It's rare to have something this well put together, just kind of like come out of nowhere. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good. I've been listening to pretty much nonstop. I've been sharing it with and might I say, I've only had positive feedback on everyone I've sent it to. So like everyone loves it because you guys have like that. You guys have that like old school pure. I was telling Chris, it's like that old school purist style of like 2000s post hardcore, but it's kind of got the darker edge to it, and it's just great. So yeah, congrats on that release. How's the reception been to it?
It's
Really well.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And we were saying this before. I mean, it's cool when Dan was saying how him and Ian musically put the songs and were dissected and we go over them over and over again. Parts get thrown out, songs get thrown out, new songs are added, and it's lyrics are added, and they're proofread, they're redone, and we try. You try so hard to put out something that you love and that is authentic, and when people have nice things to say or really truly enjoy it, it's super cool, and I know we're very grateful. It's super cool.
I was sitting here last night with my wife, just kind of sitting beside me here, and I just wanted to quickly show her some of your guys' music, as I tend to with whoever we're interviewing next. And I had to bring up Disrespect for a Voice Unheard, and about 1 minute and 20 seconds, I think, into the song is where you guys kind of go into the next, like, the verse, and just the cadence of the vocal delivery and just the music kind of, it goes into like the breakdown type section. I just absolutely loved it. My wife's just like, oh, this is so good.
What part is that?
Lip Service is just Spit in the Wind.
Oh,
part.
yeah.
That chunk is so good.
Yeah. Dang.
Cool. Yeah.
If you guys wouldn't mind, like, kind of going into some of the lyrics, especially for that song, like, what is the overall message of the song?
Kind of reflects the name, I guess, like the band name,
Mm.
Matt, you wrote it, so like you were saying it like
I know I did write those lyrics, and I know that they'd been kind of marinating for a little bit, but they really like kind of exploded out when like everything was happening. I think we talked about this, and like it kind of officially was made manifest when everything was happening with like George Floyd and like that whole horrible horrible video that emerged. And, no matter how you feel about it or the circumstances, it was devastating to see, that display of treatment towards anyone for any reason. And I know that started it. And it's, the spirit of the song is, like we were talking earlier, like Ian's saying, like plead the cause of the widow, bring justice to the fatherless. You know what I mean? A voice to the voiceless. And that can, the song, that song in particular can be looking through the lens of anyone who, is being hurt, or look at it bringing attention to those who are swept under the rug. You know what I mean? When you think about the amount of children, you know what I mean, that are hurt or killed, every year, or people in other countries or our country, who are marginalized or put down for any reason whatsoever.
Like we have it pretty good.
Yeah, we have it great. Yeah. And I know I myself, like for most of my life, have had it, all my life, I've had it so good. I have nothing to complain about at all in my life. And and looking at those things, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's an expression of frustration towards being unable to help. You know what I mean? And these things are going to happen. Acts of cruelty, acts of violence, injustice, people who commit crimes who, won't see earthly justice, but will face justice on the other side, whatever that looks like. As, fortunate, as reassuring and unfortunate as that is, it's one of those things, it's an expression of acknowledgement and helplessness, almost. So that's what that song's about.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So is that kind of what the phrase "pain split" means? What's the meaning behind the name of that, and then the song "Pain Split"?
So, so I name all of the songs I write on GarageBand after Pokemon moves.
Okay.
And that, so I can organize them and I remember them. I like Pokemon, so I use their the moves that you would use in the game. And Pain Split is a Pokemon move, and I just never changed it. And I was like, you know what, that's cool. I can throw that in this song. That song is like about a personal experience that I've had. With just giving into things of the world, temptations, like, and still being pulled back, and you're split in a way, because you care about the things of the world, and you care about, you shouldn't, but you do, and you want what God wants for you, and it pulls you apart a little bit. So
like
that's kind of, it was, so that's kind of where that went.
Also, I didn't know it was a Pokemon move for the longest time, and I said, that's a really cool phrase, let's just name the album that.
When I first heard that it was called Pain Split, I actually thought it was like a split EP between.
Yeah, same here. That was my initial thought.
I was like, I've never heard of Pain. Are they good? Like
that was a thought that was brought up too. We were just like, you're thinking about it too much. Let's just do it.
Probably.
But yeah, so it's kind of dumb actually, but no one knows. So they will.
Just a little bit that I'm familiar with Pokemon. Is it like a specific Pokemon's like attack move or something? Do you know?
So not necessarily. It's used a lot in like competitive battles. Multiple Pokemon can learn it, but yeah, it's an attack move that like you share the damage with the other Pokemon.
I love it.
I'm glad this is here. I know the internet.
That's great. Production wise,
oh yeah,
I thought the production on this was super solid. Did you guys just record it in your house, or are you guys at like a practice space? Is that where you recorded it?
So we recorded up in New York with a guy. His name is John Niclario, from Not a Recording Studio. And he did a fantastic job. Like, he's got a super legit setup. Like, it wasn't like a bedroom or anything. Like, super professional.
Sweet.
How long did you guys say the writing process was for the EP?
So the writing process, I would say it was probably about 2 years, maybe maybe two and a half ish.
Like 2 years and some change.
Yeah, but there was a lot of like breaks in it too because of like the situation the world was in. It definitely wasn't moving as quickly as it could have been. And, you know, some songs we had, like Disrespect was like a completely different song when we first had it.
Okay.
Than what it turned out to be. And then, so like True Love, for example, we wrote that. We wrote that literally a month before going into the studio because we had a song on the album that we, you know, I didn't like it. I know there's some parts that were okay, but we weren't cool with having it on the record. So we went home and like tracked that, recorded that, and you know, and that was it. So we put that on there. So it was weird. Yeah, the timeline for like writing was so weird.
A lot of that was finding out how we wanted to sound. Too.
Yeah, it was
to vet out, you know.
Yeah.
So
who are your guys' musical inspirations? Like, who do you guys draw inspiration from or influence from into Plead the Widow's Cause's sound?
So like,
there's so much.
There's a lot.
Yeah, we actually have a playlist on our Spotify, but it's a little secret. Like, all of the riffs on the record were written by Ian and I, even though singer, bassist. Like, for me, I was listening to a lot of like older straight edge, like Bane, like Have Heart, Floor Punch, 10-Yard Fight, and you can like hear that in the fast punk parts, but also like, you know, older Christian hardcore, like Strong Arm, Stretch Armstrong, Sleeping by the Riverside was a huge inspiration.
Okay.
There's like a little bit of Poison the Well in there for me. I'm sure Ian can name all of his influences.
Yeah, and then mine were like vastly different too. Like I wrote a lot of the lead lines and stuff, and a lot of it was pulled from inspiration from Flyleaf.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite band, and they just have so many cool lead lines, and like I don't know, it's different. Like I don't hear leads like that.
Yeah,
I think they're really good at that. Title Fight was a big one too. Counterpart.
I love Counterpart.
Yeah, and I guess just a lot of different Christian music too, like lyrical inspiration as well. Like tons of bands out there with just so many cool things to say and cool ways of saying it. There's a lot, but yeah, just some different things like that.
Does the band have like a collective favorite band?
I don't know. I don't think we can agree on that.
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains. We'll go with that one.
Alice in Chains, you said?
Yeah, that's the only one we can agree on.
We all dig them.
Okay, cool.
I was gonna say, are you guys one of the bands where it's like a couple of you guys are like super into pop, and then the other ones are like into like super like heavy death metal, and you just kind of.
We have a little bit of that. Like I think. I'm still here. I like more like the alternative rock stuff.
Nice.
And I think, and hopefully it reflects in some of my drumming, some of the driving bass, and there's definitely metal influence in there too with the fast double kicks and stuff. But I'm more like downbeat type stuff. What I really like, and like part of what makes our sound so interesting because we pull all these influences from like. It's just limitless what we each bring to the table, and it's so different and unique that like having the collection of 5 different opinions is so much better than any one. So I just think we get the best of every genre, or at least we try to.
Yeah. Surprisingly, there wasn't a lot of butting heads either. Like we're all pretty like
we're flexible.
Yeah, we're all pretty cool with and open to new ideas and stuff. Like there was some stuff like I don't know about that, and then it ends up working out. But like we don't really like put our foot down on stuff too often unless like something genuinely stinks and we're like, no, this is bad.
We usually agree.
But yeah, we all kind of can. Yeah.
It seems like you guys mesh together really well. Like even just the way you guys like hang out right now.
People listening are going to be like, why are they laughing?
That's why you got to head over to youtube.com/fortherock and watch the video.
20 minutes in.
Oh, that's good.
Well, when you get known these guys for so long, I mean, we're like pretty much family now. So
that's awesome. How long have you guys known each other? Because I know you guys. Some of you were in like a band 10 years ago. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, it has been about 10 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Brett is the newest though. I've only met you about a year ago. I think we all did. Did you?
I met Matt a little bit before that.
Yeah,
Through my cousins.
yeah.
Wait, so how did you guys all meet?
Oh man.
So
Wow. You and I met.
You and me met. I was trying to 10 years ago. I was trying to start a band with a friend of mine. We were hanging in like my room or something, and so it was me, my friend, my brother, and my other friend, and someone brought up Ian's name because we needed another guitar player.
Mm.
And
It was Chuck.
it was Chuck who brought
Chuck.
you up. Shout out Foreign Hands. He plays bass in Foreign Hands. So
Oh, okay.
some cool history there. He's a good friend. But anyway, that's how we met Ian, and we gelled real quick. We have similar interests and things like that. And then after that, shortly after, we were looking for a drummer. Saw a nice The Devil Wears Prada drum cover on YouTube and by this guy, and
Like, oh, that's good. Well,
shortly
let's ask him.
so got him.
What song did you cover?
it was Outnumbered off of the Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was kind of funny because they met. There was a guy who was the lead guitarist that we first started like 100 years ago, and I had actually done like a couple youth group type deals with him, like in person. And then like they found the video, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I know that guy.
Oh,
We
no
should
way.
like ask him to come play drums."
Yeah,
Just but happened upon the video on YouTube, and he knew me.
That's
so it was
awesome.
weird.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And then I met Dan at like a youth group, like a mutual friends youth group, and like we like made eye contact because we were both wearing Under Oath shirts, and like that was kind of it. And, like through that, Dan started coming out the show, or I guess you were coming out the show.
I started going with Trey
yeah.
like a little after that, and I met them just through the local music scene,
Okay.
Yeah, and we all just started hanging out and becoming better and friends and like closer, and started writing music together.
That's dope.
And then Brett was last year out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We were like, we need a guitar
Well, yeah.
player, big time.
Well, you and me met at a child's birthday party.
Yes, child's
So like, yeah, my kids were going to
my cousin's kids.
your cousin's kid's party.
Yeah,
And I met him, and I don't know, it was because you had some shirt on or something.
I must have. Yeah.
And we
Probably
like
wearing a shirt that day.
Probably.
I wasn't wearing a shirt. It was a good day.
You're just like, yo, dude, do you want to come play in my Christian metal band?
well, no.
I see you don't have a shirt
Hey,
on.
you with the shirt.
We sound like Under Oath.
But we found some common interests and kind of like, we parted ways, kept in contact.
Yeah.
And then like, it was like a year or two, maybe I think like 2 years later, your name was thrown around a few times before then because we were looking for dudes to play. And we were still like writing. So it was kind of like postponed.
Yeah, you couldn't play shows anyway.
Yeah,
Nothing was open at that time.
The world was in limbo.
Yeah.
And so finally, when we're like, okay, we tried, like you tried to play guitar and sing and like,
Can't do it.
well, it's not that you couldn't do it.
You can't do this.
Can't
though.
do it.
Like,
Yeah, we want,
this is gnarly.
there's an area of precision that you want to hit. And Ian, when you focus on doing just vocals, I mean, we all love how it sounds and how it works out. And so we wanted to, bring another dedicated musician. And I reached out to Brett once again. He came to practice, and the rest is history. I feel like we gelled immediately,
Yeah.
and
That's really cool. Have you guys played a show? Because I know you guys formed kind of during quarantine or before. Have you guys played a show since?
Not yet.
Not
We have
as
one.
Plead the Widow's Cause. No.
No, we have one coming up on May
May 7th.
7th. Yeah.
Okay, who's that with?
Sweet.
that is with the Drowned God, Machine Arms.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Drowned God, Machine Arms, So Much Hope Buried. And it's
Yeah.
gonna be,
Oh, hey, so much
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are from PA, right?
James
yeah.
is from PA. The rest of us are from South Jersey,
Oh, okay. Got it.
South New Jersey. Yeah. So, and that show's taking place in Wilkes-Barre, PA.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, fun stuff.
Man, that PA local metalcore scene is just insane. There are so many good bands in that scene.
I know a lot about like the hardcore scene out there because like that's my steez.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know like all the metalcore that's going on out there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely because there's you guys, So Much Hope Buried. I don't know if you guys know Diamonds to Dust. They're like a Christian deathcore band, or As Lions and Lambs.
That sounds real familiar.
That sounds familiar.
Okay, that band is dope. Check them out. They're like they border on like beat down hardcore with like deathcore gutturals. They're really sick.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Very cool.
Going back into the EP, I'd say my favorite song is probably, if I pronounce it wrong, it's Diet Koresh. Is that how it's pronounced?
That's
it.
Okay. So could you explain what that means and then kind of talk about the lyrics? Because that chorus is so catchy, but it reads, "Integrity is for the weak. There is only truth in suffering. Lucky for me, you're losing sleep. Let's stop pretending that you want things different." What does all that mean?
So
This is the wild.
wow. Okay, so I wrote this song, the lyrics to this song about a religious group, a cult down in Wells, Texas, called the Church of Wells.
I've heard of that.
Yes. Look them up. They're very public. They're on YouTube, and a lot of that song. Even some of the lyrics is derived from paraphrased quotes of some of their members and some of the things that they've said, like building bigger barns, forsaking the narrow path, things like that are in the song. I drew direct inspiration from it, and I guess the idea. So a cult centers around one or more, but generally like a very small group of people that are very charismatic and twist what we know to be the truth just enough to make it completely selfish. And when you mix a little bit of truth in with a lie, I think it makes that lie so much stronger, especially if you can get people to believe it. And so that's what's happening down in Wells, and it's not unique to them. That's what the song's about. But the idea, the name Diet Koresh, I mean, we know who David Koresh, was with the Branch Davidians. And the idea is that every cult, every, movement of deception like that is just repackaged garbage. It's the same thing over and over again. There's nothing new under the sun. Mm-hmm. And so, this little group down in Wells, Texas, with their leaders are college educated. They're very smart, very intelligent people. They know what they're doing, I believe. And, they're just a knockoff David Koresh, a Diet Koresh, So that's the inspiration for the name and that song. So you can actually mount it in front of any cult or any movement that's deceptive, but that's directly what it's about.
Wow, that's definitely an interesting concept and take on that. I'm looking forward to listening to it again with that in mind.
Yeah, it's definitely the oddball of the songs. Lyrically, it's like, these guys are talking about all this stuff, and then that song hits you, like, what?
Did you write that after listening to a podcast about them?
Yeah, that was a pointer, but I've heard of them before. I've seen that one guy, Moses David or whatever.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. Like, I've seen their interactions online before. I was listening to a podcast called Cultish. Shout out Cultish.
I love that show.
Me too. Love those guys. They do a very good job. They're very fair and measured. They don't, they're not biased. At least, they try not to be, and it's very nice to get. They try to be as measured as possible and fair, and it's very cool. But that was a huge part of it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. The idea that there's a desire in movements like that to create, particularly with them. And it's been stated, you should all be just like me because I'm like Christ, you know, almost like a twisting of like what Paul said, imitate me as I imitate Christ, you know, but it's like, why would you want to be anything else when you could be me? Not me, but, you know, their leader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the idea.
True love. You want to go into that one a little bit?
I guess we're doing a track by track.
Yeah. Well, that song, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. Basically being in awe that God can still love us after all of the, like, forsaking him so much and, like, just not loving him the way we're supposed to. And, like, one of the first lines is, like, how can you bear the sight of me when I disgust myself? And, like, I do stuff that I'm like, oh, man, I can't believe I did that. Or I'll, you know, like, and I feel awful about that myself. And I'm like, I'm not perfect, you know? I'm a sinner. If I'm grossing myself out as a sinner and, like, someone who has detached themselves from God and heaven, like, and, you know, like, I don't think about it all the time. And, like, I can still gross myself out. Like, how much worse must that look to someone who is, you know, God, who is pure and holy and can't even be around that? Yet he can still send Jesus to die for that. And, like, that's kind of what the whole song is about. That it's just like, how can you still love me? Like, how? After all pushing you away, and I'm going to push you away. I'm going to continue doing that until I'm dead. And it's just cool. You know, like, it's a song about how gross we are and how amazing it is that God can still love us after that.
Hey, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm getting chills as I'm reading the final section, and as you're saying that, I'll read it for the listeners. It says, my legs are broken and I cannot follow. With your perfect strength, carry me. I'm waiting just for you. Open my hands, let me receive.
My legs are broken. I cannot follow. With your perfect strength, carry me. I'm waiting just for you. Open my hands, let me receive.
I mean, that is just so beautiful and such a great way to end the whole EP.
Cool. Thank you. It's cool because it's, you know, it's real. And, like, I can't even open my own hands, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't carry myself. Like, I can do nothing, you know? And I have to remind myself of that. We have to, you know, that, like, we can't do that. You know, Ephesians 2 says, you are dead in the trespasses of sin. Like, you're dead. You can't do anything if you're dead. You know, God literally has to come in and, you know, make you accept his grace.
Right.
So
there's a song where you guys talk about coming into heaven with only one eye or with one arm. Which track is that again?
that's Pain Split.
Oh, okay, that is Pain Split. We already talked about that. Okay.
I guess I didn't talk about that part of the song.
Yeah,
but
you talked about that part. That part of the song really stood out to me lyrically when I was listening to it today. I feel like that's a part where, like, we all know that Jesus has said that, but a lot of people don't apply it or really get the gravity of, like, the gravity of sin. He's saying literally, get rid of that thing that's causing you to stumble, or else it will lead you to hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus says that, you know, it's in a lot of fiction, like, stuff like that. You know, it's something I always thought was, like, a really, you know, it's a vicious concept to think about. But there was, like, a period of time in my life when I was having, you know, a big struggle. I mean, I struggle every day with sin, obviously, you know, everyone does, but, like, really hurting myself with that, you know, and it damages you, you know, it damages you a lot. The more you live in the world, like, it becomes harder to live for Christ, and it's more painful. But I guess that's like, I'd rather, the parts of me that are left here, like I want to get to heaven no matter what it costs. I want to be with Jesus regardless of, what I have to get rid of. Like I can't let go of that sin, take my hand off, and that's, I guess metaphorically, but that's kind of where that part is from.
I think also too, I like how you said it, just how seriously the Lord takes sin. And it's, it's a battle we face every day, no matter what it is. Everyone struggles with different things, but it's so easy, I think, in this day and age, to pat yourself on the back or to let yourself, it's okay, you're doing your best, or like sweep things under the rug, or, like Ian's saying, everyone has things they struggle with, no matter what it is. But it's important, I think, to be realistic too, and to look at, the things that, as broken people, that, it's in your blood, it's in your DNA, we're born into sin. But you have to be realistic and be like, this is something that, the Lord looks at in disgust, but it's amazing, I think too, even in that disgust, it's superseded by his compassion and his love for us, that he would come and give everything and give his son. And it's just something, I struggle even now comprehending it and understanding it fully, that why he would see fit to do that, that a people so separate from him, that he would seek to bridge that gap for his people. It's just the most amazing thing in the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's always been a focus of mine and my page on Instagram, but the cover art, I was just wondering if you could talk about any sort of meanings behind that and exactly what it is.
Cool.
I see some bones, but
what do you guys think it is first?
Let me look at it again.
I feel like it looks almost like the bones of like a dinosaur, but probably something else. That's kind of what I see.
We just happened upon a dinosaur.
I wish it was a dinosaur because that'd be a way cooler story.
Is it a bird or something?
So we one day, this was a while ago. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
2 or 3 bands ago.
Yeah, a couple bands ago. James, Matt, and I, and our friend Chuck, we were exploring underneath this this bridge from New Jersey to PA. Is it the Commodore Barry Bridge?
Yeah,
I think
it was the Commodore Barry Bridge.
And there's like this there's a river along the way, and I had my camera with me, and I saw this deer carcass floating in the water, and the water was like black, and obviously the carcass is like mutilated, and like the rib cage is like all bent weird and stuff, and it looked really obscure, and I was like, that's pretty cool, I want to take a photo of that. And I've been sitting on that picture for like 5 or 6 years, and I wanted to use it for something. I'm like, this is cool. Like, it looks weird, like it doesn't look like an animal, but you can tell it is.
No, that's
it's like some fur.
Yeah, that's really cool. I dig that. It reminds me kind of last summer, me and my wife, we went to there's like an island off the coast of where we live, and it's just kind of like a tourist area. But we're walking around, and there was literally, I had my camera, we were taking photos, and there was a dead mouse with like a swarm of flies all around it. I'm just like, I'm gonna take some close-up pictures. My wife is like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, man, that's
theme for you guys' next album.
Hook us up.
Keep the animal carcass theme.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with we interviewed Brooke from Impending Doom recently. I was telling him the story of I was at a pig roast. I took photos of we had this pig spread out on a metal grate and just flames coming up through it. I took some photos of that too. I'm just like, I don't know what it is with dead animal bodies that I like to photograph, but
I get it. I get the
That's awesome.
You guys want to go down the line, all 5 of you, and say what your favorite? It doesn't have to be Christian, but what your guys all-time favorite records are.
Oh my gosh! No,
that's too hard. Should we?
If I'm gonna pick, if I'm gonna stick to the Christian thing, I'm gonna have to say "Flesh and Blood" by No Innocent Victim. Like that record goes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love No Innocent Victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been really into Dinosaur Jr. lately. Like, You're Living All Over Me. Fantastic record. Dude, I could go on and on. Like, Toys in the Well, Opposite of December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna dominate this. I'll just keep naming records that I love.
There's so many good ones.
Or this will be easier. What was like each of your guys' gateway albums into heavy music?
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah.
For me, probably An Ocean Between Us by As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably, there's a few other bands before that, but I heard the intro and then into that second track, Nothing Left, on that album, and I was like, I mean, I must have been in like 8th grade or 9th grade. I was like, oh my gosh, and it rocked my world, and I didn't know that was stuff. And I just from then, even still, I find it hard to in my brain, and it might be a nostalgic thing. I don't know. I believe that record holds up as, in my opinion, their best, but at the time, I was like, I mean, that shot me right dead center into that. And from there, it's only, Yep.
So for me, it was old, not super old, but old Under Oath. Probably like a mashup between their Chasing Safety and Define the Great Line. That was my intro to this kind of music. And it's like the same thing. Like it just shot an arrow right through me. I'm like, oh man, like I guess you just don't know what you don't know. So like I had never heard anything like that before. And I was like, oh man, we were like on the way home from a beach trip or something. I was in the car and like I was just like listening to those records over and over and over. I was just like, man, like I've never heard anything like this. And then from there, that little seed, turns into a forest. So
that's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Man, I think the first like heavy music I actually heard and got into was Rituals of Life by Stretch Armstrong.
Okay.
And I was probably in 7th or 8th grade when I heard it, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I had only listened to the generic, Switchfoot, Reliant K kind of stuff up until then. So hearing that was like, this is awesome. And it was like, all downhill from there in a way. Just like diving into all the bands.
Or uphill.
Similar, yeah.
That's awesome.
So my answer is the same for the other question as well. I'm telling you, it's Flyleaf Self-Title. That was it.
Nice.
I heard that and I was like, what's this? And hearing like screaming in songs and fun guitar, I was like, this is so cool. And then after that, a buddy, he had like one of these like, you guys remember like the Christian DVDs?
Oh yeah. X 2003.
Yeah. My friend Danny, he had me over his house and he put this on, and Under Oath's Desperate Times, Desperate Measures music video was up there. I was like, what is this? I was like, you can scream through a whole song. And then from there, it just, I found An Ocean Between Us and Pressure the Hinges by Haste the Day.
Nice. Yeah.
And that was when all that, that mess happened.
Yeah. So my first metal album was Master of Puppets by Metallica. And I got it because I heard the songs that were on the radio. And then I listened to the whole album and I heard the songs that weren't radio friendly. And I was like, this is incredible. And then a few years after that was when I became a Christian. So I got one of those X CD compilations too. I think it was 2006. And what's that Under Oath song? It's like the real...
No,
it's off of They're Only Chasing Safety.
Reinventing your exit.
Reinventing your exit?
The weird one?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's Dangerous Business.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Dangerous Business walking out your front door.
Yeah, that was on that album. And I was like, this is crazy. So I went and listened to everything Spencer Chamberlain Under Oath up until that point. Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy. This is insane. This is so good. This is my favorite music now.
And it's wild to see where they're at now, but how inspiring they were to all of these young Christian kids.
I know.
And just what they've turned into, Christianity aside, musically, it's just it's not even the same band,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Dallas Taylor stuff inspired a lot of the stuff that I'm listening to now. Like, not even Christian bands, just like a lot of the, the metalcore revival and the hardcore scene, like Blistered, like Jesus Piece, and like all that. Some of these bands would
Dude,
like
Acts of Depression is such a good album.
like Blistered, not even a Christian band, like a straight edge, just like old school metalcore band did an Under Oath rip. Like, this band's influence is insane.
Yeah.
So, are you guys Team Dallas or Team Spencer?
Dallas, 100%.
Dan, I think, the only one who believes that.
I don't know, you're close to thinking that.
Spencer's
Dude, Acts of Depression goes so hard.
the album
does.
but Spencer vocally is
Changing of Times, just like this crazy post-hardcore record. I don't know.
Sun Still Sleeps is still, like, that song is peak, but...
Do you guys get into Maylene at all?
All right, so I saw them live years ago
Oh, yeah.
at a place called Hangar 84 in Vineland, New Jersey. It's
gosh.
closed down now. And I remember they had a lot of energy, and it was a stacked lineup. I think like 4 Today was playing with like the Crimson Armada, the Color Morale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like, there's a bunch of bands. And I remember Maylene was last, and there was like, I had never listened to them at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But like 4 of my friends were like, you gotta stay for Maylene. And I stayed for Maylene, and I remember like, it's not their fault, but like half the crowd like dipped out during their set. And I remember Dallas was on stage like, where'd everyone go? And he just like threw a chair or something. And I was like, whoa! And I don't even remember, like, I don't even think the music registered with me, but he was doing like flips, like they were crazy. They had a very, very solid stage presence. So Dallas Taylor, excellent still. So
Throwing chairs.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I love Dallas Taylor Under Oath. Maylene, I don't get it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they were interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not everyone's thing. I wanted to ask, what's next for Plead the Widow's Cause?
Yes.
You guys got the show coming up May 7th. You guys got any plans for like a tour or like more shows, festivals, new music?
More music?
Definitely looking into booking more shows.
Okay.
Working on another one right now. No tours in the works as of yet.
Yeah.
But definitely looking into booking it, as many shows as feasible and is doable for us.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get our name out there and want to play and blend into the scene and break in there as much as we can.
Right.
we're always writing too. Like always have, songs just going through the brain and like you get a riff, you track it and you leave it and you maybe come back to it later.
Right.
So there's always stuff floating around. So
Yeah.
For sure.
There's like, riffs I'm writing, new influences I'm experimenting with, trying to do something a little different for the next record, whatever that may be.
That's sick. Are you guys pitching to labels? Or are you guys trying to do the whole independent band thing?
not really, and not too interested in labels. Like unless there's something really solid.
Yeah, there'd have to be something tailored pretty specifically, just the way like life is working right now.
Mm-hmm. Like, do
you never know what.
Be a touring band, or are you guys kind of just play shows whenever, but we have our own lives?
Yeah, like we're all kind of old. Like, we got 2 parents in the band.
Lives and wives.
Yep.
Yeah, lives and wives.
Which it's nice having wives that support you and
For sure.
And kids that support you. But the priorities happen and they're certainly first in line. But it's you never know what life throws your way. I'd certainly be opening to talking about labels, but like I was saying, I mean, it'd have to be at this point, at least it would have to be pretty well tailored, just for certain things. But being a DIY has worked, so far, and we enjoy like having. I don't know what kind of creative expression is removed or added at that point, but I've enjoyed at least being able to pretty much do whatever we want.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're not trying to like like the goal of the band was to never like blow up and become this giant touring band or anything. Like we just wanted to write cool music for people, and and that was kind of it. Just play shows. Shows are awesome.
Play shows,
Yeah.
and
Whatever just meet new people.
And,
Yeah,
Have our friends mosh to us.
yeah. Not a whole lot of giant aspirations for it, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's just like, with the stage of life we're all in right now, it would be very hard to be like a full-time touring band.
Gotcha.
However, we'll drive.
We'll drive.
We will drive anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, you guys, drive to Vancouver. I'll come see you.
there you go.
How many hours is that?
It's a lot.
Enough.
Ooh.
Probably costs a lot on gas.
It's all good. You can plan for anything,
Yeah.
It's just, enough notice, enough time. You make almost anything work.
Yeah.
So we're all very flexible, and, we all, we want to do this, and I know we all love it and enjoy it. And so definitely a lot of love and a lot of chemistry. So it's cool. It's cool when stuff works.
Yeah, like Chris said earlier, I definitely sense you guys have a strong sense of, I guess, brotherhood. More than just like friendship. You guys all seem like brothers. You guys seem like family. And you could definitely hear that in the music, for sure. Very cohesive. You guys are all very tight. And so, I just want to commend you guys on that. Real quick, before we wrap up, we've got I'm sure this will probably come out next week, but we've got Good Friday this week and we've got Easter this week. Is there anything you guys want to leave with the listeners who maybe haven't heard you guys, who may be struggling in their faith, struggling to find the Lord through this year, through these last couple years?
I would say don't trust your feelings. Look at what Scripture says. Trust the promises of God, especially the person who's struggling in their faith. Look at the basis of our worldview and the constancy of Scripture, the constancy of God's promises and His standards. Look at that, and even from a logical point of view, the only thing the world can do is borrow consistency, borrow morality. Biblical basis for morality is the truth. And when you look at what Jesus did and how He died and rose again, think about those things and just understand that no matter how disconnected or dry you're feeling, because I feel like I go through most of my life being just dry as a desert. I just, there's a period where I and these guys can attest, I was, so, and I didn't even know it, you're so wrapped up in feeling a certain way, and you're so wrapped up in chasing a feeling, you don't even know you are chasing one. And so much of what evangelical Christianity today, not all of it, but a lot of it, is become very, emotionally focused. And you got to draw off of that and just draw into what Scripture says about trusting the Lord, that He's constant. He will never leave you, never forsake you, and He will never let you slip out of the palm of His hand, no matter what. No, the worst thing you could do, He's already died and paid for it. It's not an excuse or a means to keep sinning or to wallow in your sin, but to pursue holiness, and by the grace of God, He helps us. And so that's one thing I would say.
Yeah, I would say focus on Him. Stop focusing on yourself. Look at Him, and I guess treat it like it's a relationship, Be present for it. Fall in love with it, Be in the Word. Read.
Yeah, be intentional.
Yeah, if you're not, you're not going to feel things. Whether or not His promises are true, which they are, they always are, it's going to damage you by not being in that, So just focus on Him, focus on what He's done for you, love it.
Wow, amen. Thank you guys. That was
good.
Great. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. We've really enjoyed this. We were looking forward to this all week, so I'm glad we were able to make it happen so seamlessly. 24-hour notice, pretty much. So, thank
Sorry
you.
to keep you guys up so late.
Yeah. Could you guys have anything you want to plug? You guys got merch?
And
We do have merch.
We got merch on our Bandcamp page.
Sure.
Shirts, CDs. We're gonna get more shirts made here soon.
Yep, getting to roll out another line of shirts. Probably another bit of that same design, and then got a new design coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. Just search "Plead the Widow's Cause" on Bandcamp.com. If you find us on Instagram, just @Plead the Widow's Cause. Same thing for Facebook. It's kind of drifting away, but people still use Facebook. So no matter what it is, just MySpace. No, we're not on MySpace. We're not on MySpace. We should be on only MySpace, but no, just @Plead the Widow's Cause, and then we got a link tree on there, and it'll take us to Spotify, take you to Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, which is where you'll find the merch. So we got physical copies of CDs, and like I said, another round of the same design coming soon, and a new design coming real soon. So we're definitely staying active, and just keep an eye, follow us on all social media. We'll post some good content.
Yeah.
So
sweet. Well, welcome to the scene, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sweet.
Thank you, guys. That is it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for more episodes coming in the near future. We got some really cool stuff planned for you. And once again, thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys can go check that out. Wherever you're listening to this or watching it, there should be a link tree available, and it'll lead you to where you need to go. But yeah, we really hope that you guys dug this episode. And if you've missed any of our recent episodes, definitely go back and check some of those out. We've recently had Steve Kabuchi, Brooke Reeves, some awesome people, and awesome conversations that we had with them. So go and check those out. Oh, and especially our episode with Tyler and Gary on the All Consuming podcast. That was a really funny, nostalgic episode as well. So thank you to Plead the Widow's Cause, and we will see you again soon.